If you think fat loss cardio means hours on the treadmill, you have been lied to because in 2026, the best cardio routine for fat loss isn't about doing more, it is about doing the right cardio at the right time. And today, I'm going to show you the exact cardio routine I use personally after running 6 marathons, competing in 3 bodybuilding shows, and done 2 high rocks competitions and helping hundreds of busy men drop 30 all the way up to 50 pounds without living on that stupid treadmill. Now, I've done endurance sports, physique sports, hybrid competitions, and coached hundreds of clients balancing careers, families, and fat loss goals. And by the end of this video, you'll have a simple cardio routine you can literally steal and copy that maximizes your fat loss while protecting your hard-earned muscle. We'll break this down into 3 types of cardio that actually work, when to use each method, and the exact weekly schedule that you should follow. Now, before we jump into today's topic, if you want my full fat loss system, including workout programs, recipe cookbooks, nutrition guides, and a community of like-minded people just like yourself, you can go ahead and join my free fat loss group using the link below. It is completely free and packed with a ton of resources. Now, moving on to points number 1, the daily low intensity movement. This right here is going to be your fat loss foundation, something that you can repeat, sustain, and enjoy on a daily basis. Because most people think fat loss cardio means sweating buckets every single day. It has to be hard, it has to be grueling, and if you're not sweating afterwards, it means that it didn't work. And really quickly, sweating does not correlate to more fat loss or more calories burned. It is quite literally your body cooling itself. So you probably noticed that during the summertime, you sweat a whole lot quicker than in the winter time, right? Because when it's cold outside, your body simply doesn't have to warm itself up as quickly. Whereas in the summertime, yeah, your body is going to be sweating a ton. But just know that sweating does not equal more fat loss. And the biggest driver of fat loss isn't intense workouts. It is simply daily movement. This is called a NEAT. This stands for your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And research consistently shows that it can vary by up to hundreds of calories per day between individuals. And these are all the small little tasks that you do throughout the day that you don't really consider as exercise. Like, sure, walking the dog, walking around, you may view as being physically active, but you don't really view it as like a tough workout. Same thing with maybe grocery shopping or doing the chores, doing the dishes. You don't view it as exercise, but by doing all these small little things all throughout the day, it can certainly add up to hundreds of unaccounted calories that are being burned right then and there. And by the end of the week, it could be thousands. By me making this video right now, I'm talking, I'm moving my hands, I'm fidgeting, I'm doing all these weird, crazy things with my hands, right? Like, I don't view this as working out, as exercise. But if I keep on doing this for the next hour, all throughout the day, on my sales calls, when I talk to clients, when I do videos like this, like, yeah, it's going to add up to burning a ton of extra calories that I don't really keep track of. I don't really consider as exercise, but definitely do add up. So here's the daily routine that we recommend most of our clients to do. Depending on the starting point, a good spot to set at around when it comes to your daily step count, which we do recommend tracking on either a Fitbit, Apple Watch, or any watch, mobile, or wrist device you want to use, or even your phone could be beneficial, but 8,000 to 12,000 steps every single day. It could be a morning walk. It could be a run as well if you want. It could be walking after meals, or choosing the stairs instead of the elevator, parking a bit further away from work or from the grocery store, and just simply staying active, playing your favorite sports. Now, when I prep for bodybuilding shows, the thing that keeps fat loss consistent is not the high intensity interval training. It's not the HIIT workouts. It's my daily steps. I stay active all day, and that baseline of steps makes fat loss almost automatic. Low intensity movements may sound boring on paper, but it is the highest ROA cardio that you could possibly do. Now, moving on to the second point, which is zone 2 cardio. This is the metabolic weapon. If there's one type of cardio dominating research and athlete protocols in 2026, it is this one right here, zone 2 cardio. It's that moderate pace where you can still talk while you do it. you're slightly breathing harder, and your heart rate is at around 60 to 70% max. Now, this works because zone 2 improves your mitochondrial density, fat oxidation, aerobic base, and recovery capacity, meaning you burn fats more efficiently, even outside of your workouts. So as a routine, you can try 30 to 45 minutes, 3 to 5 days a week in the form of jogging, incline walking, biking, or elliptical. The thing I really love about cardio is that there's not like a one size fits all. It's not like you have to do a certain type of cardio. There's so many, I guess, for lack of a better term, ways to skin a cat when it comes to cardio, because all of it, the entire goal is to obviously burn calories, but also hopefully your mindset going into this is to improve your cardiovascular health, to keep your heart nice and healthy, because without a healthy, properly functioning heart, you're dead, right? And so we should all, regardless of our goals, be trading our heart, be trading our cardiovascular health. But if you don't like running, good news, you don't have to run. If you don't like swimming, good news, you don't have to swim. Unless, of course, you are a swimmer or you are a runner, then you probably signed up for the wrong thing. But yeah, there's so many different ways that we can kind of like burn calories and increase our cardiovascular health, which I absolutely love. Now, many of my busy clients, for example, they hate HIIT cardio, high intensity interval training. But when we simply implement zone 2 walks after work or morning incline walks, fat loss becomes consistent without the burnout. That's that's a big thing a lot of people don't take into consideration, because I view fitness as an infinite thing that we should really be doing for the rest of our lives, because yeah, we want to get fit, but then also stay fit. And so if we follow a routine that we dread, we don't enjoy, that we cannot sustain, well, then how do we expect to sustain the results that we're getting from those actions long term? We can't, right? Whereas if you find a routine, you find a cardio method, a cardio modality, a workout routine, a system that you enjoy and that you can stick with through thick and through thin, you will be consistent. And when you are consistent, you will see results and keep the results, right? And high intensity interval training for most busy men who are juggling careers, family, kids, it's taxing. It beats up your joints, beats up your connective tissues, and your risk of burnout is a lot higher compared to a different form of cardio, which anyone can do at any time, which is walking. I'm pretty biased because we have all of our clients do it, and I've just seen the amazing benefits that it provides to every single one of them. They can do it with their kids. They can do it with their wife. They can do it on their own. They can do walking meetings, right? When they're on a meeting and they don't have to be like on Zoom or on Skype, they can just do it while being on a phone. They can do it while pacing around, while walking around the park. Like, it is so beneficial. And you literally get to kill multiple birds with one stone. Not physically, but what I mean is that you can knock out many different tasks while you're walking. You can text people, you can get on calls, you can brainstorm ideas just by being outside in nature. It is so good for you, especially with the summer just around the corner. You get some vitamin D. You can even take off your shirt if you feel confident enough to do that, to work on your tan. So many benefits. I like to listen to a podcast when I do it. So I learn something new, I work on my tan, I get vitamin D, and I may increase my step count, which therefore burns more calories. Like, literally 5 beneficial things knocked out in one activity. So going back to zone 2, it is not flashy, but it builds a metabolism that burns fats all day. And now a quick pause here. If you're enjoying this video so far and you want more simple fat loss strategies without the extremes, go ahead and hit subscribe, because I post weekly videos helping busy men lose fat without sacrificing their lifestyle. Moving on to point number 3, strategic high intensity. View this as the accelerator. Here's where most people mess this up, because they think HIIT should be done on a daily repeatable basis. And that is what causes burnout. Just thinking about that, imagine having to wake up every single morning before work, 5 a.m., grinding, doing box jumps, plyometrics, like whatever HIIT cardio you want to do. Imagine having to do that just to burn body fats. No thanks. Coming from a marathon runner, from a high rocks competitor, not even I want to do that, right? Like, I want to do things that I enjoy on a consistent, repeatable basis. And HIIT's training daily is not it. It's going to beat up your joints, beat up your connective tissues. And something I've been talked about is that the reason most bodybuilders as well don't do HIIT cardio all the time or ever really is because of those very reasons. Because you got to keep in mind that cardio, we want to view it as a tool. We don't want to view it as like the main thing, unless your only goal is to improve your cardio and get better at that one specific thing that you're doing. But we should combine this with a weight training program, a resistance training program, because muscle is needed. We need muscle. And once your cardio starts to interfere with your muscle building process, either through your recovery or through your actual workouts that are meant to build muscle, you have it backwards. You have it the other way around. Most guys that we work with, yes, they want to increase their cardiovascular health, they want to get healthier, but more importantly, they actually just want to look good naked. The way you do that is by continuously resistance training. Like, you got to keep that as the core. And now as soon as you realize or notice that your cardio starts to interfere with that, then yeah, you're doing it completely wrong. And high intensity interval training completely does that. And so that is why bodybuilders, they opt for the low intensity cardio, because it doesn't impact your joints. It doesn't beat up their connective tissues. It doesn't interfere with their recovery. So they can keep their workouts, the resistance training, their core at the anchor, right? Like, this does not get affected. And then they use their cardio, either through daily steps or something low intensity, as like the fat burning tool to, yes, burn calories and increase their cardiovascular health. That is the best of both worlds right there. Now, high intensity cardio is kind of like caffeine, which, speaking of, I got my morning cup of coffee right over here. Hasn't fully hit just yet, but I honestly just love the taste. So I'm just happy that it's here. It's one of my favorite drinks. Anyway, high intensity cardio is like caffeine. It is powerful in small doses, but very destructive in excess. Like, if you do it all the time, you're going to probably notice more downsides than upsides. And you're probably going to increase your risk of injury and set yourself back weeks, if not months, by pulling something, especially if you're running. You see this all the time with like just runners. They pull their hamstring very quickly, right? So you got to be careful with that. And most people are not Olympic runners. And so if you're causing injury, then yeah, you're just, yeah, not a good move, not smart at all. So HIIT increases your fatigue, impacts lifting performance, like I just discussed. It actually elevates your hunger a lot more compared to just walking. I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but after doing like a high intensity cardio session, your hunger like skyrockets. It like goes through the roof. And then that simply reduces your adherence to your diet. And we all know that we cannot outtrain a bad diet. So if your cardio is literally making you overeat, you're, yeah, once again, shooting yourself in the foot, which is not what we want to do. We don't want to be shooting ourselves in the foot. We want to avoid shooting ourselves in the foot. So a routine you could follow is something like this. If you insist on doing high intensity interval training, do it max 1 or 2 times a week. Like, don't overdo it. Don't overkill it. Do it for around 10 to 20 minutes, right? Because it's not meant to be done for longer durations. If you can do high intensity interval training for a longer duration, it probably isn't intense enough, right? So it should be intense enough for you to literally only be able to last 10 to 20 minutes. And this could be in the form of sprinting, intervals, or circuits. Now, during my high rocks preparation, I did tons of high intensity work. I did burpees, broad jumps, sled pulls, sled pushes, all while running a kilometer in between those sessions. It is very taxing. It is very difficult on your body, right? But when fat loss was the goal, reducing hits and prioritizing steps and zone 2 produced far better results with less burnout. And here's a quick little tip for you guys. If your main goal is fat loss and you think that doing high rocks workouts will help you do that, it'll certainly get you active. It'll certainly get you sweating. It'll certainly do something for you, for sure. But if you don't intend on actually doing a high rocks race competition, don't do high rocks workouts. Like, yes, it could be fun for some people, but if your main goal is fat loss, I would just not do any of that. And I will just focus on lifting weights and then increasing your step count on the side. That is it. Like, it is, yes, the lazier way to do it, but the far more efficient way to do things. It's not as exciting. It's not as flashy, but it is far more sustainable. And once again, sustainability is the key here. So Here's the exact routine that I would recommend. So on a daily basis, keep your step count high. Like this is kind of like the baseline. No matter what happens, no matter if it's a rest day, training day, step count stays consistent at around 8 to 12,000 steps daily. And now 3 to 5 days a week. And again, these things are optional. But if you want to incorporate some zone 2 cardio for your cardiovascular health, just for just general health purposes, you can do this 3 to 5 days a week for 30 to 45 minutes, but make sure you're in zone 2. So make sure that you can still, a good test is that you can still hold a conversation quite comfortably. If you're huffing and puffing, you're out of breath, then you're going way too hard. So make sure it's still kind of like within that zone 2. And then lastly, 1 to 2 days per week, you can do your high intensity interval training for maybe 10 to 20 minutes. That is it. So no 2-hour treadmill sessions, no daily suffering, just pure consistency, something that you can sustain for the long term. Now, here's the biggest cardio fat loss truth. Cardio doesn't cause fat loss. A calorie deficit does. You got to keep that in mind. We all think of cardio as like this magical tool that as soon as we do it, we just burn thousands of calories. And then that is it. Like we don't have to worry about our diet. We don't have to worry about our sleep. But no, like once again, it is a tool in the toolbox. We have seen plenty of clients lose body fat without really doing any form of cardio, right? Like maybe they have a physically demanding job. Maybe they do some construction on the side. Maybe, yeah, of course, we all get some steps in during the day. Like it's not like we're all like bedridden. Like we at least get a couple thousand steps in a day. But by simply monitoring their diet, eating enough protein, eating enough fiber, fruits and veggies, and doing as little as 2 resistance training workouts per week, you could still be burning body fat. You just simply have to control your calorie deficit. If you're in a calorie deficit, once again, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. You can do it by doing more cardio, or you could do it by doing less cardio and just eating a bit less. But cardio simply makes sticking within a deficit a whole lot easier. I personally would so much rather do more cardio and eat more food than do no cardio and eat less food. I just love being active. I love like lifting. I love walking. I love running. I love just moving my body. I love exercise. And so if I can do that while eating more food, while losing body fat, I mean, yes, that is my ideal situation. And I know some people don't, or they just don't have the time either, which I totally respect and I totally get. So find what works best for you. But once again, cardio does let you eat more food, improve your health as well, maintain muscle, and increase your consistency. That is why the best cardio routine isn't always the hardest one or what your favorite fitness influencer does on Instagram. It is the one that you can repeat, not just today, not just this week, but for months and for years, ideally for decades, actually, right? So if you take one thing from this video, it is that fat loss is about layers. Movement, your daily movements, your NEAT, your daily steps builds the base. This is the base. The zone 2 stuff that you do on top of that builds the engine. And then the HIIT workouts adds speed. If you stack those on top of one another, fat loss literally becomes inevitable. I know we haven't talked about the diets, but once again, that should be a given. I talk about diet all the time in all my other videos. So if you want to know exactly what foods to eat, how to find your calorie deficit, what workouts to do, you can watch my other videos. But this video was strictly just about the cardio side of things. And now if you want help implementing this into your current busy routine, your training and your nutrition, you can book a free consultation call with me down below. We'll map out your fat loss plan step by step. And if you haven't yet, you can join my free fat loss group for workouts, recipes, and resources. I will see you in the next video. Peace.